I'm testing a live stream right now, so I know that you guys are watching, but I'm just practicing at the moment, kind of improving. It's late night right now. I usually do talk about the private and get into the details of what's going on at Creditor Academy, but today I'm going to be focusing on getting things done and improving my live streams. If you're wanting to get into the private, us at Creditor Academy, we're having a live event going on this Friday or Saturday, excuse me, tomorrow, where we're doing an orientation to everything on our platform. We're very excited about our weekend orientation. You can go to www.creditoracademy.com and you can see the registration link for our orientation. What we talk about on Saturdays is we go over the details of how we set the academy up here. Listen, if you're just like me, you're passionate about being in the private, and you'll do anything that you can to not have the government down your back and not have a repeat of what's going on in the past and what we're even experiencing today. Let's look at the past. Remember COVID-19? Remember when they used to say, you're an essential business and you're a non essential business? And then they told all of your customers, don't go to your business because you're non-essential and you're putting yourself at risk. What did that do for families? What did that do to your life? How did that affect you when you got a letter in the mail and you received a $1,400 check from the government and they said, I hope this lasts you 2 years? Right? One moment. The other thing that is happening in today's age is the federal government is shut down, or the government shut down. So now if you've been working as a federal worker for TSA, or you've been working as for the IRS, if you've been working for a lot of jobs at the federal government, you just lost your job. And imagine, if you will, for me a moment, doing a federal job for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years even. You've been giving yourself for the general public, and you just heard from politicians because they can't agree on the floor of the Congress that you're going to be out of a job for an undisclosed amount of time. Now, when you work for the federal government, like I used to work for the federal government, I used to work at Folsom Prison in California. It was a high maximum security prison, and I did that during my nursing career. I met a lot of people that worked at Folsom Prison. And I said, why do you like working here? And he's like, oh, well, I get a pension, I get benefits, I get a high pay. You know, it's a federal job, so I have job security. I'm not worried about losing my job. So what happens is, you know, imagine if you have that type of lifestyle. You just bought a house for your family, you're feeding your kids and everything like that. And then they strip from you your 15-year career. What do you do at that point? Do you wake up in the morning, you're no longer a TSA agent, you're not working for the federal government anymore, and you're sitting there, you lost your benefits, you lost your pay, you lost your job security, and now what do you got to do? You got to work a 9-to-5 job at a local McDonald's as a cashier because you don't have any other experience besides working for the federal government, and you don't get benefits anymore. So now that's going to be out of pocket for you on your minimum to upper minimum wage job. I mean, it's just sad to see what's going through it. And let's not even stop there. Let's not even talk about COVID-19. Let's not just talk about the federal government. How about artificial intelligence? How many people are losing their jobs at Google, Microsoft, Amazon to a robot, essentially, AI? Amazon just unemployed 30,000 employees. Microsoft was 6,000, I believe, like last week. Google has done over 20,000, and so on. So, and just businesses in general, all independent businesses. How many times have you been on social media and you see a commercial for how to make your business more effective and replace your current employees with automated AI software platform tools, right? I mean, I see those commercials all the time, man. They're just shoving it in your face. And you know what? Business owners are honestly, you know, especially small businesses, taking advantage of that because it is low cost and it is effective. I mean, a lot of jobs are being replaced for that reason. So now that those jobs are being replaced, about 15% of small businesses are doing exactly that. So now here we are. You're losing your job. You're losing your benefits. You're losing your beneficial pay. The government has control over you and your way of life. And you, to add insult to injury, if you want to go on food stamps or EBT or SNAP, you can't because the government shut down. So now you're in a very hard predicament. I mean, it's very tough, very tough. I feel for all the families out there that are going through this. And inflation is high, interest rates are high. It's almost impossible to get a house. And if you have stacking debt that you have to manage all on top of this, I mean, it's the system has really worked against you. And this is how they keep you trapped and enslaved to the 9 to 5 grind. The 9 to 5 grind is dedicated for you to work for the private corporations that help set up the system in order for you to work for them for the rest of your life and just scathe on by. They make you struggle just enough to not ask questions because you're too buried in your work and in survival mode that you cannot focus on your dreams or aspirations or how to figure out to get out of this 9 to 5 grind, this rat race, the life of the rat race. So here at Creditor Academy, we teach you how to unplug from this system. And how we teach you to do that is how to operate in the private. There's nothing more powerful than operating and becoming private. What do I mean by being private? Being private is utilizing the same two aspects that we all utilize in life. And what that is to the two things that I'm referring to are benefits and liabilities. All life is just benefits and liabilities. You get the benefit of the house. You get the benefit of a car. You get the benefit of going to school. You get the benefit of putting food on the table, having a place to live. I mean, everything is benefits and taking advantage of them because that's what makes life worth living. But the issue is the liability, right? I mean, when I take out a loan for a house or a mortgage and I just lose my job, I'm now liable for that. It's going to take a huge hit to my credit, and it's going to force me to have to take years to build it back up. How about the automobile? Hey, I just got my job replaced by AI. I owe this car payment and now I can't afford it anymore. Now you're liable to that debt, to that automobile. And because of your unforeseen circumstances, you're now trapped, trying to rebuild your credit in your life to pay for your hard times. Hey, I want to give my children a great opportunity. I want to send them to private school. I'm doing very well with my job right now. So since I'm doing very well with my job, I'm going to take advantage of the opportunity to send my kids to private school for a higher education. But, the government just told me I'm a non-essential business, and I need to shut down. Now I have to pull my kids out of private school that I wanted to give them that better education, and now I have to put them into a public school where there's crime, bullying to the nth degree, low quality education because you're oversaturated in the classroom, less one-on-one attention. They even got rid of homework. It was getting so bad. So the private is all about separating the liability. See, is utilizing entities that sign up for those benefits when the times are good, but when the circumstances of life, like when times get hard or bad or even unfair, where it's out of control, the entities take all of the hit. Now, there's one very powerful entity that we use here at the Academy. It's called an Unincorporated Business Trust. Have you ever heard of that? If this is your first time hearing about an unincorporated business trust, let me tell you a little bit about it. Well, first of all, it was started by the Rockefellers and a bunch of other private companies in the late to early 18 and 1900s. And basically, when the founding of the United States happened, there was a lot of state registration coming into place. Okay, we were just getting the post-Civil War. The times were changing. The government had a lot more power, and all of a sudden, there was registration started coming into play, especially in the 1930s. Right, so the system was being built to where the government was starting to find out more and more about your business. Now, this government was to not get too deep into the conspiracy of it, but to go high level here, the government was operating more like a corporation more than it was a government entity. And we'll get into that more into detail at another time. But essentially, the Rockefellers, the Carnegies, the Rothschilds, the J.P. Morgans, and all of them, they wanted to be capitalists. They wanted to take advantage of what was going on in the United States and get access to running their business with limited liability. And how they did that is they went to the Supreme Court and they say, we need to have an entity where we can do business but not have to register with the state. So that's where the term unincorporated comes from. Okay, it means you're not registering or doing deal with the state. So, and then they came up with a business trust. Business trust is exactly that. It's an actual trust that is utilized for business activities. What's unique about a business trust, I want you to kind of think of this simply, is it's using, there's three positions of a trust. There's a grantor, there's a trustee, and there's a beneficiary. The purpose of a trust is for the trustee to act in the best interest of a beneficiary. Okay, so a trustee is like they're hired help. They're there to manage the assets, like the real estate or the business that the trust is holding, that's for the benefit of the beneficiary, right? So when the grantor passes away, who created the trust for the benefit of the beneficiary, then the trustee manages it and makes sure that all those assets go to the beneficiary. So the beneficiary and the trustee are not in partnership together. That's a key aspect of this. They're not in a business relationship. It's more like, hey, I'm here to help benefit you exclusively. What that does is it puts the trustee in a very interesting situation because they're just the hired help. They can't be held liable for any of the decisions that they make that's in the best, as long as they're acting in the best interest of the beneficiary. So this means that the trustee can hold the title to the business, the title to the property, the title to the loan or the mortgage without experiencing any intrinsic liability if something goes wrong. So with that being said, this is what the Rockefellers wanted to do. They wanted to be in that position of trusteeship because it allows them to do one thing: own nothing but control everything. And control comes from holding on to the title, but owning nothing, because a trustee doesn't own any of those assets. It's just they're just holding the title for the benefit of the beneficiary. And what this has done is it's absolutely changed the game. And there is case law that is written about this. It's actually in a American Jurisprudence, 2nd edition, volume 13. Look at all this. This is all the Rockefellers, J.P. Morgan, Rothschilds, Supreme Court decisions, and all these other people that just talk about business trusts and how it works. Okay, so business trusts are backed by three laws: constitutional law, common law, and contract law. So that is that's the main benefits to holding a business trust. You get the most amount of protections. With a statutory business, when you register it with the state, you're under statutory law. Well, as you know, with statutory laws, rules, and regulations, they're infinite. I mean, they could think of a new one every single day just because a politician feels like it. And often politicians make up new statutory laws just to make a name for themselves, you know? So this is why we teach it here at the Academy to get an unincorporated business trust started for you. We help you with the documentation. We help you domicile it. We help you get an EIN number for it, and we help you get a bank account. And we give you very guided step-by-steps. And in my experience of doing business trust, I've been doing business trust for 7 years now. That's how I first got into the private in the first place. It's the one process that I know that is the smoothest and fastest way to get into the private, to shield yourself from the liabilities of life and to start opening up the door to your future independence. Independence is the highest form of sovereignty. As soon as you're independent and not reliant on somebody else who is trying to dictate what your worth is at your 9-to-5 job, you can really open up a lot of doors for yourself. And because your life is dictated only by you and the decisions that you make on the day to day. And that's what I want to foster with you here at the Academy. Is I want to find what your vision is, and I want to assist you to getting there. So that's what we focus on in Masterclass. We get your unincorporated business trust. Now, we do two other things after we get your business trust. And again, this is just part of Masterclass membership, okay? This is like your quick start guide. We have so much more that we offer at the Academy, which I will explain to you on Saturday's orientation. If you want to register for the full orientation of everything that we do here at the Academy, go to www.creditoracademy.com, and then I'd be happy to see you and answer your questions and give you an in-depth presentation or orientation to our platform or program. But as part of your quick start guide and masterclass, the second thing that we go through is after you have your private entity and your bank account, we address your merchant processing. I've been to one of the hardest things about operating in the private is that you could do everything right, but you gotta live like a hermit. You know, you gotta almost like, if it's almost like, and I hear this all the time, it's like, Paul Michael, I would go into the private, but it's just so hard to live that way because I can only accept cash under the table or checks, or someone's got to like ACH bank transfer me or give me some cryptocurrencies. And it's hard for me to accept finances in the modern age because no one uses cash and checks anymore. People are doing automatic payment subscriptions, debit cards, credit cards, invoicing, and stuff like that. People are making purchases directly from websites and e-commerce and stuff like that. And PayPal, Stripe, Square, Wave Accounting, and so on, these payment service providers do not accept business trusts. They will reject you. They say you're too private, so we can't control you, we can't freeze your account, and we can't hold you liable. So we're not going to accept your business trust documentation. And that's really frustrating because that puts you at a full tilt standstill. Sometimes it's not about what you know, but it's about who you know, right? That's just the facts of life. This was such a point of contention for me when I was starting Creditor Academy because I couldn't find an opportunity for me to get merchant processing. I had to accept Venmo and Cash App and do some other things, and it just really stifles you from being successful because you're so limited. So What we have done at the academy is I got myself a bankers connect. I've been so fortunate when I started Creditor Academy to have I brought this issue up over and over and over to people. And sometimes when you put it out there, the universe hears it, and then it brings you the solution that you're looking for through people. So very fortunately, I had a bankers connect and a merchant processor that reached out to me, that heard what I was talking about with this issue. And they said, Paul Michael, we truly believe in what it is that you're doing. And we have a passion for ourselves, for the private, and we know the importance of it. And we like that you're trailblazing this. We would like to be the resource for everybody who starts a business trust with your organization under your direction. And we will set up a private merchant account so they can process transactions in the modern age. That was just an absolute game changer. We are so excited to have this as a service that is included with your masterclass membership, where I give you my banker's connection, I introduce you, and you start really taking off from there. So I'm excited for that. So that's step 2 of our quick start guide here at the Academy. Now let's go into step number 3. The third step is credit optimization. In order for you to get out of the rat race, we need to get you, in my opinion, a couple $100,000 to start. Okay, I think that's a good starting point. That if you have a couple $100,000, you can be like, oh, okay, I don't have to worry about going to my 9-to-5 grind. I don't have to worry about my bills being paid. I don't have to worry about, a lot of things, and I could just focus on my vision. So the way that we do that is we do credit optimization. Now, I remember my parents when they tell me about before 2008. They would tell me, Paul Michael, I could get a house with $5 in my pocket and a pocket full of jelly beans, and I could get $1 million house. And I'm like, what, you boomers? How do you have such opportunity? I mean, the boomer generation, you have so much opportunity during your day. It's just mind-blowing what you had access to. So what happened is 2008 happened, and we all know what happened with 2008, the market crash and housing and stuff like that. And the banks changed their tune. They are still wanting to lend just as much money as they did before to the boomers. It's just that they just added underwriting requirements. It's basically like a checklist. And as long as you checklist everything on their underwriting requirements, they will give you the same amount of credit as they did the boomers did before. Okay? So the third step is about just getting that checklist of your business trust. Okay? It's very simple steps. Very simple. It's just kind of getting a business email address, a website, and a couple other things on that checklist. And now you're presentable to say, hey, I'm a legitimate entity and I want to get lines of credit. And once you hit that checklist, you're going to receive something in return. It's called a Dun & Bradstreet number. Dun & Bradstreet is basically, it opens up the world to you when it comes to business credit. And you can grab as much of it as you want. And pretty much after you get the Dun & Bradstreet numbering is applying for credit cards. That's it. You just apply for credit cards and get as many as you possibly can. I show you how to get them from vendors, banks, and credit unions. And you just get a couple $100,000 worth of credit cards, and then you use, once you get to a couple $100,000, which it doesn't take that long. Anywhere between 4, maybe 6 months to get that. So quick time frame. Just keep on applying for cards. And once you get that $200,000, you use it for 2 things, and only 2 things. The first thing is to take a huge chunk of it and invest in that vision that you have for yourself. Invest it wisely. Get yourself staff, get yourself inventory, get yourself whatever it is that you need to really get yourself into what your passion and vision is. The second thing that you do with the money is utilize it for your personal expenses. You see, it's like going, have you ever seen the show Shark Tank? With like Kevin O'Leary and, all the other sharks. And there's these independent business owners that go into the Shark Tank and they give their pitch on what their business idea is and how they want to profit from it and be successful. And the sharks hear them out and they say, okay, let's go ahead. We'll give you $100,000 for 10% of your company or something like that. Well, sometimes some of those people who pitch their ideas to the sharks end up getting the deal, but they shoot themselves in the foot because they say, oh, I can take your money, but and the sharks will ask, are you committed? Are you committed to this vision and this dream? And they'll say, I am committed. However, I work a full-time 9-to-5 job right now, and I have to pay for my personal expenses. So I don't really have the time to spend on the business and dream because I got to pay for my overhead, right? And then what do the sharks do? They just shut down the deal right there. And it's like, well, you're not 100% in. And if you're not 100% in, it'll never be successful. And it's the same thing with you all. So when you guys are doing your business and you're doing your, you're utilizing your credit, you got to make that decision. You have to make a big one. So that's what we do here at the Academy. Okay, let me go over to the chats now. A lot of chats. Okay, what up, Paul Michael? Anything new? Cool. A lot of new stuff. Greetings. Good morning. Very good morning. Good evening in my time. Thanks, Paul Michael, for bringing us all your hard work. I'm still working on trust. Got my 98, private bank, estate. I'm on board with learning your approach to freedom. Amazing, MDM. Love to see you in Masterclass. Let's work together. Masterclass, what we do is I teach the 3 steps Monday through Friday, full time. So that is where my concentration is. So I'll be excited to see you inside of Masterclass for that. Let me see. Reloading. Okay. And then, okay, someone's impersonating me. That's always fun. I've gotten that a number of times, unfortunately. If you do not want to get scammed, I recommend you go to www.creditoracademy.com and you can schedule a consultation with me. And we can have a conversation, or you can join our masterclass and you'll see me Monday through Friday. I spend an hour or more with all masterclass members answering questions and also helping with the 3 steps. So then we'll be able to go from there. Let's see. Creditor Academy. I see. .com, and you can schedule a consultation with me. So, but I'm really excited. I want to hear from you guys. So go ahead and put inside the chat any more of the questions that you may have, and I'd be happy to answer it as the best as I possibly can. Otherwise, tomorrow is my orientation. Every Saturday we have our orientation where I go through the entire platform, give the orientation of what it means to become private and operate in the private. I'd be excited to have you guys join me on a venture that I really think will change your life. And it's changed my life so much. 7 years ago, where I started to where I am today, one of the biggest testaments that I can say for the last 7 years is that I've truly been independent the entire time. My independence is just really not just survival, but more of abundance, because I can manage my assets, I can manage my business, and not worry about what the federal government is going to decide whether I'm essential or non-essential tomorrow. I kind of make my own destiny. So if you want to make your own destiny for the future, if you want to have control of your life, if you want to not be stuck in the 9 to 5 rat race anymore, come join us at Creditor Academy, not only to get knowledge, training, and education about what it means to become private and operate private, but also to connect with many other like-minded patriots just like yourself. It gets lonely over time trying to be inside of this movement, and it's hard to keep up with what's going on in this changing world and to do it by yourself. There's a lot to learn, and doing it on your own without any guidance or a support group of like-minded people that are going on the same journey you are makes that journey frustrating, especially when you don't succeed or a guru is trying to sell you something else and you're running out of money. And so we don't want that for you. We want you to not only learn, but we want you to get encouragement from the other people in our class who are getting success every single day in their processes and following the 3 steps and going along with the rest of their program here at the Academy. So once again, www.creditoracademy.com to register for this Saturday's orientation, which is tomorrow. And you fill out the form that's on the homepage of our website, and then we will send you a link to that orientation and the time. Okay. What other questions do we have? Okay. All right. If there's not any other questions, I'll be wrapping up today. I kind of wanted to just get online today and practice with my streaming, mixing with a couple of the codes right now. We have 104 staff here, full-time employees here at Creditor Academy, and they're in different time zones. So I wake up at like 6 or 7 a.m. to have my morning meetings with my team. Then we'll get to work. They'll get to work and they'll be here like all day. But then at 8 p.m. at night is when my second shift team gets started. And then it's their morning. So now I get on the phone with them, do phone calls, check things, see how the systems are running, see how the course development is going, see how our software development is going. We developed our own software system here at Creditor Academy called Athena LMS. Athena LMS is a learning management system, so it's where we host all of our courses, community events, and so on. So we're very proud about that software. So I'm very proud of the development of that. We've been working on that for the last 9 months now, and it's finally, working really well. It's actually going on to retail. If you want to see our learning management system, you can go to www.lmsathena.com and see our platform that we created. So very powerful stuff. All right. Other than that, everybody, I was super excited to see you. It's late. It's almost 2 a.m. my time. I want to wish you a good morning, a good evening, or a good night. And I look forward to seeing you all this Saturday, which is today actually for me, and for orientation. And I look forward to your hearing about your vision and what you want your future to be. And look forward to seeing you in more lives that are coming in the very near future.